Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hope everyone's having a fabulous day. If you haven't gotten a chance to subscribe to this channel, please do so. I want you to ring that notification bell. That way, when I drop a video, you'll be notified. In this video, what I want to talk to you guys about is the one thing that will definitely ruin your credit. You see, I've been working with people with credit for about 7.5, 8 years now. And there's a consistent theme amongst everyone that I talk to that have high balances on their credit. And that is when I ask them what you spent your money on or what they spent their money on, it's consistent. I don't know. I don't have anything to show for it. And it is of my opinion that the reason why that situation occurs is because they have this thing called keeping up with the Joneses. And we spend a lot of time and a lot of money trying to impress people that really don't matter. And that is probably the number one thing that is going to ruin your credit. You see, when you're trying to build your credit and you haven't had a lot of people that came to you and accepted you, or this is the first time you're able to go out and you're able to purchase a brand new car, or you have this opportunity where, you meet someone, you want to take them on a date, or you want to take your family on a vacation. It takes a lot of will to say no, right? And sometimes it's not what you say yes to, it's what you say no to. And once you start understanding that you're getting yourself in a position to where you're not going to be able to take advantage of situations. And we're going to talk about those situations in a little bit. But understanding that this keeping up with the Joneses mentality is what is going to destroy your credit. Now, I'm guilty. I talk about credit a lot. I talk about building credit a lot. And you guys are having a lot of success. But one thing I don't go over enough is the pitfalls that you're going to have with building credit. Once you start building your credit, that will and discipline that it's going to take to say no, it is going to be whether, you make it or not. It's not going to be some tactic or deleting items from your credit report. Believe it or not, your number one asset that you have is your mindset. And as soon as people understand this, the further along they're going to get. And if I could stress to you guys that, I see it far too often. I'm having a lot of people go and apply for Navy Federal Credit Union and getting their high unsecured credit cards. They're having luck getting them, but then what happens is they never developed that discipline that it takes. And we always try to impress people. And I come from the situation where we always go out and we want to purchase nice cars to impress women, and women want to raise their status by getting these very, very expensive handbags or these very, very expensive shoes. And it's a sign of status, right? We have this mentality that consumption is the barrier to a higher status. And a lot of times it's not. It's a barrier to debt. And we don't have the discipline just yet in order to get these high limit credit cards. And so what I'm guilty of is getting you guys in situations that could be detrimental. And so I like to every once in a while make these videos so that you guys understand that, once you start obtaining credit and getting yourself in a situation to where, you're starting to get those yeses, at that point, that's when you're going to have to really be disciplined and practice self-control, because there's nothing worse than having a client or somebody that I've been speaking with for a year and a half. They go out, they get a bunch of credit cards, and then they come to me and they start telling me about the situation they got themselves into with a bunch of high balances. And now we got to work on what are we going to do, and we're working on different strategies. There's nothing worse than that. And so, like I said, I like to make these videos every once in a while just so that you understand that, yes, my methods work. right? You are going to get higher balance credit cards. You are going to start getting, more credit cards. And I try to make videos to let you know that, yeah, you are going to be in a position to where you're going to have to say no. I made a video a while ago talking about being a credit hoe. There's going to be situations where these credit card offers are going to come your way. They're just going to start mailing them to you and hey, sign up for this credit card. You're going to open your Credit Karma app. They're going to want you to apply for all these different credit cards. And at some point, you're going to have to practice the self-discipline needed to get yourself into the next situation. And, speaking of that next situation, those of you that have been on this channel for a while know that, I have a particular belief on home purchase. Like if you go and you start looking at net worths between minorities and whites, there has to be something said to the home purchasing of a home. And what I mean by that is there was an article that came out, and I believe it was Massachusetts, that said that the average net worth of somebody that is white was $180,000, and then the net worth of somebody that was African American was like negative, and then the net worth of somebody that is Hispanic was like 1,000. And there has to be something that's said. Now you can look at that and say, well, it's the income or it's race baiting or what have you. When I look at that what I say is the white people are purchasing homes at a far higher rate than what the minorities are doing. And so if you really want to build your wealth, I do believe that there is nothing that's going to build the middle class's wealth faster than purchasing a home. And that's why I kind of stress about this, this credit thing the way that I do, is because I know in order for you to purchase a home, you're going to have to get credit. And you have this weird dynamic where there's extremes on building wealth. You have the Dave Ramsey where, you got to save every nickel and you got to purchase everything cash and don't spend no money. And then you have the Grant Cardones where it says, you got to go out and spend $350,000 on a apartment complex, 16-unit apartment complex, and build your wealth that way. Or you have even worse, the Rich Dad Poor Dad that says, if you really want to become wealthy, you have to get into the business, which is 500 employees or more, and get that into the investment, and you start investing, and that's purchasing apartment complex. And it's okay, there's a lot of us out there that is not going to fall in those extremes. And I would say that's probably 90% of the United States of America. So what do we do to build our wealth? And we're left out, and there's nobody that's really talking about the foundation for the middle class. Yeah, if you have a very, very low income, then yeah, you might want to focus on purchasing cash. If you have a very, very high income, yeah, you might want to purchase a business where you can have 500 employees or live off your investments. But most of us are not in that situation. And there has to be something that's said to those people that fall in that category where we have a job, W-2 employee, maybe we have a side hustle, right? What do we do to get ourselves to where we can build our wealth? And I believe it is a purchase of a home that actually builds wealth faster than any stock market, 7 to 8% or what have you. I believe that the number one, and it stood the test of time. It's not something that, we're going to sit here and compare to the stock market or anything like that, because there's just nothing, if you're in a situation where you can invest the stock market and live off the stock market right now, great. But we're still in the hustle mode. If you look at the demographic of this channel, it's the ages of 35 to 55. If you're in that demographic, we're still out here grinding. We're still in our hustle mode, right? So what do we do, right? Because let's say you don't have the means to retire off your investments. How do you to get yourself to get that jump in net worth. And I believe we're coming up on a situation where with this pandemic, you're going to have a contraction of the housing market. And once these houses contract, you're going to be able to purchase a home at a steep discount. And that's what's going to propel your net worth. And if you are focusing on keeping up with the Joneses, if you're focusing on, I got to go out and impress this person, or you're focusing on, taking your family out on a vacation, chances are you're going to miss this pandemic, the opportunities of this pandemic. Usually the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow, and we're not at the end of the rainbow yet. And that's what I really want you guys to understand, is that when I'm teaching you guys about credit, I have a bigger plan. I do have a bigger plan, but I got to make sure that I get everybody in a situation to take advantage of that plan. It was about a year and a half ago that I started telling you guys about saving money. What I see in the stock market, it looked a little bit frothy. And I know there's going to be a lot of you that said, well, Ken, the reason why the stock market took a 50% hit or 30% hit in a week is because of the pandemic. But if you really look at the economic numbers, you've seen that we were heading into a global recession anyway. And so with that being said, what is going to happen in the housing market? You could blame it on the pandemic. You could blame it on 2008. We never really cleaned up what happened in 2008. I don't care what you blame it on. I knew that there was going to be an opportunity that was going to come up in the housing market. And I just believe that the number one asset that we have to build our wealth, and I'm talking about the middle class, those people that fall in the middle, is purchasing a home. And far too often you have these gurus that talk about, in order for you to build wealth, you got to invest it in the stock market, or if you invest in some type of Forex or cryptocurrency and take these wild, outlandish gambles, to me, that's secondary. Getting people into homes is going to be my primary objective going into 2021. That's what I'm focusing on. Right now, I'm talking to mortgage brokers to see what we have out as far as down payment assistance. There has to be programs out here that we're not privy to that's going to help us get into homes. I know I talk about credit. Saving your money for the down payment is going to be something that you guys are going to have to really start focusing on. If you're not saving your money, then chances are you're going to miss out on this opportunity. And I don't want anyone to miss out on this opportunity if they don't have to. Now, if you're one of those people that lost your job, from the bottom of my heart, I feel for you, right? But if you're still in the grind, if you're an essential worker, or right now they're starting to bring people back, and you have a way to purchase a home, but you're still too busy trying to keep up with the Joneses, using your credit for other things, then chances are, you got an uphill battle going ahead. And what I'm trying to do is build a group of people that are like-minded, that say, you know what, I don't really care how people perceive me, because it's more about how I perceive my bank account, right? Like, what do I have in the bank account? How does my net worth look? How is my retirement looking? Am I going to be able to take care of my family if something, God forbid, happens? And those are the things that truly matter. And once we start focusing on these things, all this other stuff that's going on the side is really not going to matter, 5, 10, 15 years from now. These people that you're trying to impress, man, they're there right now, but I can pretty much guarantee you, if you have to purchase items in order to impress people, or if you have to continuously, take people on vacations or what have you, at some point you're going to run yourself into a situation where you're going to see it and it's not worth it. That person or that group of people or that community, maybe you want to join the tennis club or the golf club or what have, it's not worth it. And you're going to see it in a very short period of time. And like I said, I was guilty, purchase cars to impress people and do things to impress people. But once you start getting a little bit older and a little bit wiser, you start seeing that those people that you're trying to impress really aren't anybody to be impressed. And the more you start focusing on your net worth and what your financial situation looks like. And, if I can make a video every now and again that focuses on the mindset of credit, the things that are most important, the number one asset that you have in your financial portfolio is your mind. And I get you guys to focus on that and hone in and develop the discipline needed that is going to get you guys to the next level. If I can keep focusing on that at least once or twice a month, that's a good month for me. I'm having a lot of success with my clients, but the reality of it is I still get afraid and I still get depressed when I have clients that come to me that built their credit up and, now they go out and they spend these high balances and they come back to me and they say, hey, we got to figure out a strategy on, these high balances that I have on these credit cards that you got me, Kenny. Now it's your responsibility to, figure this situation out. And there's nothing worse than that. If you're a client of mine and, you're building your credit and we're deleting items off your credit report, just understand this is a very, very dangerous game that we're doing. And I want everyone to be successful. When you're talking about building credit, you have to understand that there is nothing that's going to boost your credit score more than building credit. Like revolving lines of credit is like the number one thing that you're going to have to build your credit. I made a video yesterday, day before yesterday. I can't remember when it was. I just put it out. It was something about 650 in 90 days. And there was a gentleman that commented and he asked me, he said, Ken, I had 3 recent collections. I deleted those from my credit report, but my score only went up like 25 points or 20 points or something like that. It was a very low amount. Don't quote me. You can go in the comments and look at it. And I responded and I said, well, what's going to have the most impact on your credit score is your most recent items, because your credit score is impacted by the most 24 months. Turns out those 3 collections that he had on his credit report, those items were from like 4 or 5 years ago. So they were older collections. So 1, those were old accounts. 2, they weren't revolving accounts. 3, they weren't really new accounts. So there's a long list of things why you only got a few points when you deleted them off your credit report. If you really want to know how to build a credit score, it's going to be the most recent 24 months. So if you got collections over 3-4 years, your score is going to be more impacted by building credit than actually deleting items off your credit report. Even if we delete those old collections or what have you off your credit report, if you do not have credit, building credit is going to have more of an impact than deleting items. And to understand how I got into this position, years ago, I first started my credit repair company. And the way that I looked at credit repair is a little bit different than most. I learned this now because I made a video and I started talking about, credit repair companies not educating their clients, and people kept responding to me, it's not the credit repair's responsibility. And I look at it as, it is my responsibility to educate you on credit, right? Because when you come to me, right, you're coming to me to get approved for loans. That's it. You're not coming to me saying, hey, Ken, I want a pretty credit report. You're coming to me saying, hey, I want to get approved for loans. You're the specialist. You know how to get people approved for loans. What do I do? That's why you go to a credit repair specialist. And your thought is, the reason why you go to credit repair companies is because they brainwash you to believe that the only way to get a good credit score is by deleting items, right? And so I fell for this myself. About 7 years ago, I deleted some items off my credit report, and I thought I was this guru, right? Like this guy that knew everything about credit. And so what I did was I started helping people delete items from their credit report. But one thing I noticed, we still weren't really getting approved for jack. And so I started doing a deep dive on what it really takes to get you approved for loans. And as I started developing my methods and my tactics on how to really boost credit scores, I started seeing that, hey, as I start building my clients' credit, the more likely or the faster their credit scores jump. And it got to the point where like that was the number one thing I was doing for a while, was just helping people build their credit in the right way. And then credit repair became secondary, which it still is for me right now, because it's like I don't even work on people's credit if they don't have a foundation to their credit report. Like if you come to me and you don't have anything on your credit, I'm going to tell you straight up, you need to invest in yourself first. Invest in yourself first, get your foundation, to your credit, and then come to me and we'll start disputing, because I'm not going to have you and put a whole bunch of money into me. Like, you're paying me to delete items off your credit report. And at the end of the day, you're still not going to get approved for anything. That serves no purpose. Like that does absolutely nothing for anyone. And because you listen to these commercials, hey, come here and we'll fix your credit and you're going to have a 700 and all this other stuff, you're thinking, okay, that's the way credit is really done. But in all actuality, it's not. And the reason why it's pitched that way is because there is no monetization by telling people the right way to build credit is by going out and getting the foundation that I talk about. Now, look, if you haven't gotten a chance to go in the description of this video and you're wondering, what is this foundation he keeps talking about? I created a Google sheet where I compared the secure credit cards, the most popular, I guess you would say, credit cards, secure credit cards. And I gave a side-by-side comparison, which ones graduate, which one gives you rewards. And you go out and you pick two of these secure credit cards. And if you have a lower FICO score, you might want to do the Open Sky, the Merrick, or something like that. Those two secure credit cards are key. If you only have one secure credit card, you want to go out and get another one. If you don't have any, you want to go out and get two. If you got two, I don't care which ones they are. They might not be ones in the list. I don't care. The next thing you want to do is you want to go to page 2 of this Google sheet that I have. I just added these items, I believe it was a couple days ago, and that is the MyJewelers account and the New Coast Direct account. You want to grab these two accounts because they're huge to your building process. Once you have those 4 accounts, those are all considered revolving accounts. Now you want to just go and get an installment loan. On that same Google sheet, same page, I have 2 companies. One is it's called Self now, and the other one is Credit Strong. I use Self. All my clients use Self. I put Credit Strong on there because I am an affiliate of Credit Strong as well, but I really like Self. I don't have anything against Credit Strong except the fact that they have these Magnum accounts that are like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I don't know how long they are. They're really expensive accounts that you can, pay over time. And that's not what I really teach. I'm trying to get you guys in a process where you're going to be able to get things and finance things that are going to take the position of these certain things. You're not going to keep a secure credit card all your life. You're going to be able to get the cards that are, that we all want, like the rewards, or maybe they might have some type of gas rewards or purchase, grocery rewards. These are the type of cards that we are really trying to get, not secure credit cards. So the one thing I like about Discover is that when it graduates, it turns into a Discover It card. And then at that point, you get rewards and stuff like that. So that's an easy way to start with bad credit and graduate into a rewards program. That's what I like about the State Department Federal Credit Union, or not the State Department, the Discover It. And so as you start going on with your credit journey, you start seeing that building credit is going to get you to that 650 range. Now, after that 650 range, you're not going to have high jumps in your credit score. It's going to be very small increments that you're going to see on a consistent basis, which is fine. It's at this point, it's about time. And when you start building your credit, and that's when you want to start looking at deleting items, when you have your foundation together or you're building your foundation, somewhere in the middle of building your foundation. But as far as just deleting items for the sake of deleting items, I just don't see the point of it. And when you guys are getting yourselves in a position to now you're starting to get credit card offers, you're starting to be able to be in a position to where you can get credit. That's when the danger comes, because are you going to have the discipline that's required to keep you from going out here and just, trying to live a lifestyle that really you can't afford, trying to be somebody that you're not. And if I can get you guys to understand that in this video, that's what I want you guys to take away, to stay disciplined and keep building your credit for the situation that we're going to be having real shortly, probably within the next year and a half. Okay, so I hope this video finds you guys well. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to download my book, it's called Credit Anatomy. Download that book. It's a great book. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep dropping videos to help you guys get to the next level. So you guys stay blessed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.